With us is Ravindra Raina, leader of the BJP. We also have with us our other panelists joining us. But first, Ravindra Raina, big question to you. Once again, this is happening when there is a high-profile visit, and this modus operandi of terrorists, even though they are saying the TRF in its statement owning up responsibility says that this is because of outsiders coming in and being registered as citizens to enact demographic change, that they are carrying out such an attack on tourists. A truly despicable reason, and whatever it be, at the end of the day, how can they target innocent lives in the manner in which they've done, that too as far as innocent tourists are concerned?
The enemies of Kashmir, the enemies of humanity, and the enemies of peace once again created bloodbath in Kashmir. The innocent tourists, those who are visiting the Kashmir, especially the Pahalgam area, they were targeted by these Pakistani terrorists. This dastardly, inhuman act of terror is highly condemnable, and all the perpetrators, all those involved in this terror attack, they will definitely be punished. Their sympathizers, their supporters, those brought them to this destination, they too will be dealt with iron hand. Honorable Union Home Minister Shri Amit Shah Sahab is arriving shortly in Kashmir, and security already, our army, police and paramilitary forces top commanders have reached Pahalgam. Whole of the area where this incident took place have been cordoned off. I am quite confident that very soon all these enemies of Kashmir, the terrorists, those involved in Pahalgam terror attack, will definitely be neutralized.
All right. And, with the Home Minister's visit to Kashmir this evening, what is the message that's being sought to be sent out, that New Delhi is firmly standing with Jammu and Kashmir, particularly when it comes to such acts of terror, and that we will not be cowed down by it?
Definitely. Last week, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah Sahab was also in Kashmir, and in 3 days, there were large level security review meetings took place, and Amit Shah Sahab visited Jammu as well as in Kashmir too, and a short while from now he is arriving in Kashmir. We will not allow anybody who raises pose threat to the sovereignty and territorial integrity of India. Amit Shah Sahab is arriving, and everybody knows the type of personality Amit Shah Sahab is and his stand. Definitely, during last 10 years of Modi government, terrorism, their modules have been busted, crushed, and the remaining will also be dealt with iron hands.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, Ravindra Raina. Thanks so much for joining us with your inputs on the story. Let's quickly take it across to our experts with us. Joining us is Sushant Sareen, Senior Fellow of ORF. Brigadier Anil Gupta is a defense expert joining us. We also have with us Sushil Pandit, activist, who's with us. It's a very, very familiar script, isn't it, Sushil Pandit? 25 years ago, we all know what happened in the run-up to Bill Clinton's visit. It appears to be the similar modus operandi. On this time, of course, they are saying that this is an attack on outsiders who are being registered as citizens to enact demographic change. That's the ostensible reason. No way that anyone can justify such a cowardly attack.
I couldn't agree with you more, Madhav. Just that it is not even boring now to hear the same script over and over again, the same tweets. Even the words don't change. They have begun to sound hollow. It's begun to wear thin. I don't know what to do of it, but my heart goes out for those who are taken in by these claims of normalcy. As recent as 25th of March, our Home Minister tweeted that separatism is history in Kashmir. Can you imagine this claim? Even while Kathua encounter went on for a week and it was still going on, and you had an encounter in Kishtwar, and these are two Hindu-dominated regions in Jammu and Kashmir, in Jammu region. So when you have such asinine approach to dealing with jihad, where the carrying of a pretense of normalcy takes precedence over fighting terror, fighting jihad, this is bound to happen. You are not seeking out terrorists in a mission mode. You are waiting for an incident to happen and then go after it and then issue these statements, issue these bombastic claims. This Sahab is coming and that Sahab is saying, and we have busted and we will smash and we'll do this and we'll do that. This doesn't help at all. It is not even carrying conviction with those who speak it. It is evident from how they say it and their body language.
Let me bring in Brigadier Anil Gupta on that. Brigadier Anil Gupta, as far as our approach is concerned, when such a big attack, happens, it is a time to introspect, whether we like it or not. Somewhere or the other, with this, while narrative building is one thing, somewhere have we gone a little slow as far as our own crackdown on terror is concerned, as Sushil Pandit appears to be pointing out to.
See, I agree with him partly. Firstly, we must realize that Pakistan is hell-bent to ensure that peace does not prevail in Kashmir. The economy of Kashmir continues to suffer, and he is hell-bent to ensure that there is a communal divide and there are communal rights in Jammu and Kashmir. And all attacks in the past have been towards that. Even the recent attacks in Kathua, Kishtwar were aimed at that. Even today, they were asking whether you're Hindu or a Muslim. Now, you see, this is the strategy of Pakistan. But I fully agree with him where we say we can't be reactive every time. We can't be having an operation for 5-6 days and still say we are not able to track them and they have run away. We are having encounter after encounter and we start reacting when the encounter takes place. We have to be proactive. And the place which has been chosen, Amarnath Yatra, is 2 months ahead. By now, the combing operations and the area domination of this area should have started by the security forces, so that by the time the yatra starts, there are no chances left. But somehow I think there has been a laxity on this part. So we have to be very, very proactive, and something like Operation All Out has to be there. We cannot be reacting only when the things happen.
Right.
I fully agree on that account.
Right.
But I'll also like to add that this is the time we should not stop blaming. The time has come to act.
Okay.
And act we must.
Okay.
Fast.
Okay. Let me bring in Sushant on this. Sushant, where do we fix responsibilities? Of course, something that we'll get to eventually. There is a unified command as far as our security forces for their coordination is concerned. We have a civilian government now, and at the end of the day, it is also a union territory to that extent. But, this is something that we saw last year where there was a spate of attacks in the Jammu side. Are we now looking at the focus of these terror groups once again on the Kashmir side of Jammu and Kashmir? And is this something that we can expect in coming days, in terms of what is the response of our security forces and our administration that we can look at?
Look, Madhav, I think it's quite clear that the terrorists will strike wherever they think they have an opportunity to strike and get away with it. And in this particular instance, I think I would call it a security lapse in the sense that, as other people have pointed out, it's always been a pattern whenever there's a high-profile visit taking place, like J.D. Vance is in India, something like this should have been expected. But, if you have already declared victory, as my friend Sushil says, then what do you need to prepare yourself for? You are already won, you have broken the back of terrorism, and there is no terrorism left. Now, I can understand that, yes, we have degraded the terrorist infrastructure. We have achieved a lot in Kashmir. I think, notwithstanding all the other attacks, the ones which have happened in the Jammu region recently, all of that given, despite all of that, I think terrorism is at a historic low. But have we won this war against terrorism? Far from it. Look, apart from this pattern of launching attacks when there is a high-profile visit taking place, we've also seen another thing. We've seen the Pakistani Army chief clearly issue a warning just a few days back, although a former intelligence chiefs in India think we should continue to, turn the other cheek and kiss and make up with the Pakistanis. We need to move on, move forward, notwithstanding whatever they do. So I don't want to get into what clowns like them say. But I think more realistic people should be aware of what is happening on the other side of the border. And you have had this guy, you've had other terrorist sympathizers like Najam Sethi and others who have been openly warning on their television shows that Kashmir is going to hot up, that we are going to be further sponsoring trouble in Kashmir. If after that your security agencies are not anticipating strikes, then I think they need a real wake-up call. Perhaps this is it. Secondly, we've been talking about, in fact, we've been gloating about how much successful the tourism has been in Kashmir, how record number of tourists are going. You literally are saying that, okay, fine, this is a major success, why don't you attack it? And this is what has happened. So I think, this thing of thumping our chests and issuing these bombastic statements, maybe it gives some political dividend, I don't know. But purely from a security point of view, I think it is better to keep quiet, work silently, completely, eliminate and eradicate this menace of terrorism, but do it on the silent. Right. This constant drum beating and this constant trumpeting of success, I think it really does not behove the security forces, or for that matter, the government of the day. And frankly, in this particular case, the responsibility does lie with the center, because after all, law and order right now in Kashmir is with the center. So you can't shove this responsibility onto anybody else. And somebody really needs to answer why a tourist spot like Pahalgam, which is a very popular tourist spot, in that kind of an area, why there was not some kind of a security presence to ensure.
Absolutely. Let me put that question to Sushil Pandit. Sushil Pandit, these are areas, we talk about terror, you talk about tourism in the Kashmir Valley, and, of course, we all welcome the fact that it's grown over the last several years. But at the end of the day, there's a responsibility to ensure that there is absolutely airtight security at such places. And, this kind of event in a limited, controlled area such as Pahalgam, perhaps is entirely avoidable if our security forces were active and, were looking at all the threats that were emanating. All the warning signs from Pakistan were there. But as Sushant says, perhaps not enough was done to counter it.
I completely agree with Sushant. The problem is the pretense that there is normalcy in Kashmir takes priority over fighting jihad. This is the principle. When you fight jihad tooth and nail, there will be inconveniences. But you don't want to, in your obsession for winning hearts and minds, you don't want to inconvenience anyone. And you want to carry on the pretense of normalcy. Then how will you fight jihad? You see, this is asinine approach to jihad. This is absolutely juvenile way of claiming that separatism is history in Kashmir and then be slapped with encounter after encounter, killing after killing, and then rushing to the spot saying, see, I'm very concerned. It is reprehensible. It is condemnable. We will crush it. I mean, it means nothing. It means nothing to those who have died swallowing your propaganda that Kashmir is normal, and coming and flocking to Kashmir as tourists and spending money and then returning with the bodies of their relatives. So therefore, fighting jihad in the proper serious manner, in a mission mode, is priority number one. Pretending that it is normal and we have won is not.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's an approach that the government and all our security agencies will have to look at far more seriously. It's unfortunately taken such a tragic event to take place, a dastardly terror attack like this, to take place for perhaps lessons to be learned. But we'll have to leave it there for the moment. Sushil Pandit, as well as Sushant Serene, and of course, joining us also, Brigadier Anil Gupta. I'd like to thank all three of us for joining us in the show this evening. Thank you so much.